G'day Guardians, it's Matt here, and today I'm bringing you that brutally honest review of what Xur's selling this week. As always, you won't find me calling every weapon here a god roll, because for the most part, they never usually are. Xur is currently in the Winding Coves over on the EDZ, and he is selling sweet business. At the moment, it doesn't really have much of a place in the meta besides the fact that it is kind of fun to take into Grandmasters to use for anti-barrier champions, and I know a lot of people are having fun with it in PvP. For exotic armor, all three pieces are actually worth picking up this week. Gwis and Vest has got some really nice pointy stats there for recovery and intellect, which work really well for an intellect-based build. For Titans, we have a really nice armamentarium with 67 total stat points. Even though it's pointy in strength, you should be able to make that work for a nice grenade build. And for Warlocks, we have Vesper of Radius with a really nice pointy recovery stat there, which is perfect because it's based around our Rift. For legendary weapons this week, I would honestly go out on a limb and say that none of these are worth picking up, besides maybe the 7 Seraph Saw if you have some room in your vault, as this might be an actually pretty good roll if machine guns ever became some sort of champion debuff, and having disruption break and auto loading would be quite nice going into Grandmasters. One thing that's exciting here is having Swarm of the Raven in the rotation. This hasn't been able to be a world drop or any sort of drop for the last few seasons, so it's really exciting to have this back here. The roll itself isn't exactly great, so I wouldn't pick it up myself. For legendary armor, we have something pretty exciting here. We have the Righteous armor set, so if you haven't got these in your collections, make sure to pick them up on all three characters so that you can turn them into ornaments. For hunters, they came out on top with some really nice legs and arms here with pointy recovery and intellect, so definitely worth picking up if you're looking for like a PvP set of armor or anything for like a super base build in PvE. The chest piece was only a 57 stat roll, so not worth getting, and the helmet had stats all over the place, which I wouldn't recommend either. Titans were able to get some armor here that had some really nice neutral game. The chest, the helmet, and the legs are all pretty well statted across some pretty important specs there, so they would be worth picking, whereas the arms I would not recommend being pretty low statted in comparison. I think Warlocks really drew the short straw here. Some of the armor here is either really lowly statted, or some are just really pointy in the wrong stats, so nothing here is anything that I would recommend at all. But as always, if you don't have any of the exotic armor in your collections, grab them so that they can become world drops and hopefully roll with even better stats. And for any of the legendary armor, if you didn't have a chance to get these sets in previous seasons, pick them up on each character so that you can transmog them into ornaments down the track if you like. As always, take it easy, Guardians.